I would like to know about your research. How can people optimize space and how can India grow in this capacity?
It's actually tailor-made to whatever the requirements of the client and their business are.
Talk about AI research. What I see is a lot of people know about it, but they don't know how to operate it. The apps, there is an information available, but to actually understand how to practically utilize it, use.
See, one perception is wrong that AI would do everything for you.
Yeah.
You still need human intervention,
Right.
It's a enabler, it's a tool. The other thing is,
So overall, this Bharat Buildcon platform, how do you think can help you grow your business and in your growth, how can we contribute? So you're already part of this. You are, this partnership is there with Narrateco, with, us Bharat Buildcon. So how does it help you and what does it mean to you basically? Yeah.
So what's happening when we are trying to build these infrastructure projects? We are bringing them experiential projects.
Yeah.
We are trying to make sure that these infrastructure projects, while
Hello, everybody. Very warm welcome to Bharat Buildcon podcast platform, where we are having a conversation with Mr. Deben Moza, Senior Executive Director, Project Management, Knight Frank. And to start with, sir, I would like to ask you, since you are in the industry for 3 decades in India and you've contributed to some of the most iconic developments also, and your main business is property consultancy. So I would like to know about your research. How can people optimize space and how can India grow in this capacity?
see, when it comes to optimization of space, it's with very careful or planning of what you're building and understanding the client's needs. You don't over-design and you don't over-design. So it's actually tailor-made to whatever the requirements of the client and their business are. So we understand that. And then, with the team, we when we design it, when we are even building it. So we look at optimization of whether it's space, whether it's cost, and, getting the best quality what you can get across the globe.
Right. Okay. So, talking about this, I would also, how can I miss the point of AI and research? Since you are in the research business and AI is everywhere rolling out. So, how is tech impacting the affordable home developments?
See, technology is now integral part of whatever we do. And unfortunately, in construction industry, we're the last ones to adopt it.
Yeah.
And I think it started picking pace post-COVID when we realized that, we can work remotely.
Right.
Whether it's creating virtual walkthroughs for a client, whether it's creating digital twins before building up, whether it's managing the project with technology, is something which is getting adopted very fast.
Yes.
Nowadays BIM is used in most of the projects, and it sort of is something which is a foolproof thing. You don't have to worry about on-site construction issues. They get resolved right at the design board stage. And when you are managing it,
Yeah.
you work with the tools, and AI becomes a very important tool when it comes to construction, because you get solutions based on the data which is there.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a lot of exploration, because if you go back to the drawing board, you waste a lot of time. So there is data available, and from your past projects, from other projects, where you can implement the learnings and the findings in your project and make a quick decision. That's how AI is helping us. And
So, when
in
you
the
talk
construction.
about AI research, what I see is a lot of people know about it, but they don't know how to operate it. The apps, there is an information available, but to actually understand how to practically utilize it, use of it in your business is something very challenging still for many people because it's still very new. So, do you have any suggestion for this? How can they optimize that technology and leverage it?
See, one perception is wrong that AI would do everything for you.
Yeah.
You still need human intervention, right? it's a enabler. It's a tool. The other thing is, how are we making people aware of AI and to use it?
Yeah.
So it should start right from the college level nowadays. We have a lot of colleges who have included AI as part of their curriculum. So you need people who are already trained to use this. So again, the skill development would take time, and it's not limited to people who are, you know, just managing the project. It's limited to even the contractors, even to the vendors. So how they implement AI in a project. So the skill development and understanding of AI and its use in construction industry is very important, and that should be inculcated during the college.
Right. Absolutely.
The courses, the curriculum should be part of it.
I agree. So, what do you think? How attractive is the Indian market for construction business?
It's very attractive. I think the amount of construction that's happening in India is more than collectively what is happening in Europe or America, because we are growing very fast. India is, in terms of whether it's construction of buildings, construction of new public transport system, everything. It's booming, and for next 15 years, it would be like that. You have data centers coming up, you have warehousing, you have Make in India initiative, which is China 2 strategy. So there's so much of construction happening, and that's where we have to keep the pace and have more people who are skilled in managing those kind of projects.
Okay, so we've spoken about the AI research part, but can you tell us any technology that one can use in construction business specifically? The latest technology, anything that you can think of?
See, we have, right at the design stage, we have BIM, which is Building Information Modeling. We create modeling, where one design can generate multiple outcomes. We also have creating of digital twins. Without constructing thing, you actually create something and then you find out whether it's working or it's not working. You eliminate all issues which you might face post construction. And then there are construction technologies. There's 3D printing happening. There are prefabricated structure, precast, so robotics. So slowly, the amount of construction that's happening, we have to adapt to this new technology to make things more efficient. It's an upfront cost initially, but if you look at cost versus time, you can build things which are faster than what you conventionally do.
Yeah. So, sir, since you're in this business and this is a platform where we have so many buyers, we have 760 buyers from 85 countries, and we have all the products displayed from foundation till the finishing. Are you also, did you get in touch with the CPWD or the Russian delegation, or, like we have so many different buyers and different bodies who help you get business? So did you connect with anyone so far here?
We do a lot of projects with government. We interact with CPWD. We also work with a lot of international bodies. Like British High Commission. They advise British companies who can help them in sort of growing the business and building infrastructure for them. So we are in touch. We have JICA. We have other bodies here in India where we are in constant touch. And being a multinational company, it's like they relate to us faster than
Yeah. So overall, this Bharat Buildcon platform, how you think can help you grow your business, and in your growth, how can we contribute?
So, we are integral part of growth of India, right? We are, when you say we are one of the four wheels he'll run. So you can't manage a project without a project management company or a real estate advisory firm. You need funding, you need contractors, you need a client. So it's a collective thing. So, everybody would contribute to the growth. So if there is a growth in real estate sector, automatically it's our growth.
Yes. Sir, other than this, how can overall, as an industry, we collectively grow by connecting with each other through network, through these platforms? Any suggestion? Any?
No, the platforms like this are very important, where you network and you understand what new products are coming in the market, and who are the ones who you should reach out to should there be a need. So there's a very good mix of people here who can help you, and you can help them in growing this whole thing. So it's, as I said, it's a very collective effort. We have to find right partners, whether it's technology, whether it's product manufacturers, whether it's the developer. So it's a team which is there, and the forums like this, we get to connect and understand what's happening. They also understand our part of business, how we are evolving in our business.
Yes. So looking forward to having you in the next edition of Bharat Vilcon, which is happening in 2026 at Yashobhumi. Looking forward to seeing you there also. And I hope you're enjoying here, having a good time and connecting with people. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Talking to you. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Bharat Vilcon podcast platform in conversation with Mr. Rajiv Vijay, Executive Director, Knight Frank. Welcome, sir. So good to see you here. Thank you for your time. I would just quickly start with the questions that don't waste your time. How is the current pace of infra development impacting the country according to you?
So we are at the point where we have seen the highest growth of infrastructure over the last 10 years, and this has never happened in India before. And it's been a big game changer for our economy, because for every investment done in infra, you get actually 3x return, both in terms of economic investments as well as the job creation. What has also happened is that because as the Indians per capita income is rising, we are seeing more and more requirement of aspirational India wanting an aspirational infrastructure. So if you look at our quality of airports, if you look at our quality of metros, so infrastructure is not just about providing a basic need. It's about creating that infrastructure which is world class, which our current generation, Gen X, Gen Y or Alpha wants it, and making them feel proud and use more of it. So if you look at the expressways, you look at the new trains, you look at the new airports, is all about creating that experience. And also it helps you to improve economy by reducing travel time, by making you more productive, by reducing your logistic costs. So it's a multiplier effect in that sense.
But a major chunk of people, especially in urban living, I think they're looking for experiential living mostly. That's how it is.
Yeah. So that is, it now starts moving to tier 2, tier 3 towns also.
Okay.
So people who are in tier 2, tier 3 towns, they are also using these highways.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, leave aside major urban centers. People in Uttar Pradesh towns, I could talk of a northern region, people in Punjab, people in Haryana are using these expressways to come to NCR, for job opportunities, for education, without moving out of their own place.
Absolutely. Any fashion, any trend trickles down.
And because of this infrastructure, the e-commerce has reached them. So they are enjoying the same delivery timeline as what we are enjoying in bigger cities. We have also seen that when we use these modern electric buses, an average user in India, which was earlier traveling by regular buses, is now using an AC EV bus to commute make the same journey.
Oh, wow, interesting.
So even if they're taking overnight journeys, and these are the same people who earlier used to go in non-AC buses. So India is getting aspirational both in urban
moving towards as well luxury in every segment, basically.
I would say comfort, ease of convenience, luxury, possibility,
basically you can say that. So you're into property consultancy business, and you are in this in from past 3 decades in India, and you've contributed to some of the most iconic developments also in India. So, what kind of changes have you seen, especially if you talk about the last decade? What changes have you seen so far?
So if I look at from both, you cannot disassociate the real estate with infrastructure. They both work in complementary nature. In fact, if you look at it, a lot of real estate is kicked off or it gets incubated because of infrastructure. The moment an infrastructure project is announced, you can see even before the infrastructure project is announced, the land prices started increasing even before that. And when it is announced, they start increasing further. And by the time the project opens up,
Okay.
it actually allows you to build real estate around that core infrastructure project. So take any airport project, take any metro project, take any highway project. The private sector real estate developers and private sector real estate community has benefited the most. So this is where what we at Knight Frank do is bring these two together
Yeah.
and help generate economic development for both infrastructure as well as real estate sector.
Right. So you're already part of this. You are, this partnership is there with Naredco, with us, Bharat Buildcon. So how does it help you, and what does it mean to you, basically? Yeah.
So what's happening when we are trying to build these infrastructure projects? We are bringing them experiential projects.
Yeah.
We are trying to make sure that these infrastructure projects, while are good, are also affordable in nature.
Yeah.
So what we need is a strong real estate component
Yeah.
associated with infrastructure. So let's take the example of airports, which Honorable Minister talked about today.
Yes.
That instead of,
I'd like to know about your latest report also on
yeah. So in aviation, for example, he said flying for all, right?
Yeah.
That can only happen once you make it air travel affordable. One piece is the airlines, the other piece is, and they will reduce their fares as there is significant demand.
Yeah.
Second piece is the airport piece, which is the core infrastructure which government creates or government in associate with private
Recently,
sector.
what Thailand has done, the internal flight, they're giving it for free to some thousands of,
exactly.
customers.
Exactly. So
kind of
we
quality.
can make also airport, at very affordable cost. Is what you have to do. Give the developer, whether it's Airports Authority of India or a private sector developer, more land to develop. So they earn the money through that, and they will use that money. Basically, they spend the capex and they earn back through real estate.
Yes.
That way, they can keep the per passenger cost low for airport usage.
Yeah.
So what happens is you give them more real estate, and then which allows them to reduce the airport cost.
Yes.
So per passenger airport cost comes down. It makes it more affordable.
Right.
And for tier 2, tier 3 cities where new airports are coming up, a lot of them might be from mid-income background or low-income background. For them, even 500 rupees reduction or 400 rupees reduction for the airport usage charges would help. So real estate is a very important component, and that's where Buildcon comes into picture, because when we're trying to reduce the capital construction, we're trying to bring the best technology, best material, and best sustainable material in the picture. That's where our Buildcons, bringing in local Indian projects of that global quality will help reduce the capex costs of these projects. So, what we're looking for at both best in technology, best in sustainability, but at Indian cost.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So, in fact, brilliant suggestion. I would say that government should actually try to realize their suggestions into actions also. And when we talk about the products that are on display, we have every product on display from the start to the finishing. And we have so many buyers also here. Like, I'm talking about Bharat Buildcon platform. Like last year, it was by the name of Vibrant Buildcon, where we had 765 buyers from 85 countries, so many exhibitors. And next year, just wanted to inform you that we're also coming up in 2026, which is going to take place in Yashabhumi, and we would love you to, exhibit also.
Sure.
But I want to know, are you also working with the government? Because here at Bharat Buildcon, we have so many buyers, we have so many bodies, government bodies, there are delegations coming. Like last year, we had, this year, we had Russian delegation also. So, like that, do you also connect with international bodies on such platforms? Do you get the chance to interact with them?
So largely because infrastructure is generally with government in India. So we deal with a lot of government bodies in India at both central government level, state government level, and at urban local bodies. Our focus currently is within India, but we are happy to expand into Middle East and Africa regions because that's where there's more potential for infrastructure growth still,
Yeah.
and in Africa probably on public-private partnership basis. So that's where we are looking at.
All right. So, these platforms, how can they contribute basically? If I can specifically,
I think
precisely ask.
from our perspective,
Hmm.
as I said earlier, that we are looking at good quality products
Yeah.
at Indian cost because at the end of the day, for whatever we create within India,
Yeah.
it has to be affordable for general public. So, and because these are being made experiential infrastructure,
Yeah.
there is a good upfront cost that goes into there. The developer takes the construction risk, so they want to make sure that their costs are lower, the supply chains are lesser, riskier, or they are more resilient.
Yeah.
So anything which is available in India is always helpful for them.
Interesting, sir. Thank you so much. We are looking forward to seeing you around and talking more and more and connecting with more people. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. All right.